Character is what you do. If you tell me what you do, I'll tell you who you are. Character is my philosophy of life, my point of view. You know, some people you talk to and they say, you know what my philosophy is? It's a dog-eat-dog world. Do it to the other guy before he does it to you. In fact, Terry Malone on the waterfront, he says, do it to the other guy before he does it to you. And that's his point of view. And that's in that film, that's the character's struggle in terms of a sense of conscience. And so you need to figure out the character's point of view, his values, his relationship to another character. How do I relate to you? Depending on the understanding of what constitutes this individual. Mm-hmm. You know, am I one of the guys that, you know, I work in the factory, I come home and I drink a six-pack and I fall out on the couch and I just have sex with my wife whenever I want. I don't care about her in terms of whether she's being fulfilled sexually. And I go bowling with my guys and I play cards once a week. And my kids, I want to bring him to a karate class so he learns to be tough. You know, and almost like Robert Duvall in The Great Santini, if you ever saw that film, it's tough love. And he's really hard. He's bouncing the basketball off his son's head, which looks very cruel. But if I was to play that character, I'm making him tough. Don't cry. And I take a strap and I whip him to teach him a lesson, but I'm making him tough. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm helping the kid, even though I'm hitting him and spanking him with a strap, teaching him to be a man. And that's a character. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Another character, it's you turn the other cheek. It's a completely different human being. And then you can have fun with how does the character walk? Where does the character walk from? What is his scent? And that's sometimes different temperaments. It stimulates actors in different ways. Sometimes, in fact, Rod Steiger was being interviewed by the Playboy guy, Hugh Hefner. And he was asking about method acting. This was like in the 60s. Hefner had his own talk interview thing. And it was asked, you know, what is method? And Steiger said, I start with what I like. Sometimes it's the character's belt buckle. And if I put that on, I feel like, you know, it's like if you put on a motorcycle jacket and motorcycle boots and, you know, you feel a certain way. If you put on a colorful Hawaiian shirt, you have a completely different sense of yourself. So sometimes finding the way the character walks as well as the way the character talks, because the character talks in a different rhythm perhaps than I do. No, it's fun. And you want the flavor of that. Sometimes that's all you need. If you're playing in Italian, you don't need. In fact, Brando did that beautifully. You know, Brooklyn Street Italian. You know, talking back in the throat like that, which a lot of the guys in where I grew up talk like that. You know, they talk like that in Little Italy as well. But he kind of captured that, and then just you hardly were aware of it. And that's the way it should be. Same thing with a Southern accent or German accent, just the flavor of it. Otherwise, what happens is you can work on it so well that the audience says, my God, you know, he really got that Polish accent down so perfectly. He sounded like he was Polish, you know. But if they were walking out talking about my dialect, I've missed the boat. But actors get very caught up in, quote, technique. That's what we were talking about a moment ago. You can attach to the technique. The technique is designed to free the spirit. If it doesn't free you, make it alive, then it becomes all about the actor's, you know, technique and his or her acting abilities. But character is what you do. Tell me what you do and I'll tell you who you are. I'm a vegetarian. No, I like meat. I eat meat, you know. I don't know. I'm faithful to my wife. No, every now and then I fool around, but I don't tell my wife. That's a character. And I, as an actor, have to justify that so that I don't feel that I'm, quote, playing a character. If I feel I'm playing a character, I've missed. No, I have to feel that I'm me, doing certain things. And then I have to be very subjective in the selectivity of the things that I do. There are clues. If you take Streetcar Named Desire, Stanley Kowalski, he quotes Huey Long, who was the governor of Louisiana, and he says, Huey Long says, man is king in his own castle, and I'm king here. And he says, we're going to go bowling. I'm the captain of the team, and we're going to go bowling where I want to go bowling. We're going to play cards, the game I want to play. And Stanley Kowalski, you can see the clues. He has to be the leader. He's an Aries. That's a given in the play. And in real life, I am actually an Aries. And we're very pushy. Hitler was an Aries, just to give you an idea. So was Marlon. But there's a certain kind of temperament. But the character, I don't know, is he Aries? Anyway, I think she says the goat or something, whatever. But if you read through the play, you'll see lots of clues of what the character says, as well as what other characters say about your character. Those are also clues. But if you comb through it with a fine-tooth comb very slowly, you'll see the clues, and you'll arrive at what we might call the definitive character, in terms of what does that person want from life? What is the character's philosophy? And you can see the Stanley Kowalski just wants to, have sex with lots of beautiful women, celebrate. If I was doing him, I would say, I'm just celebrating life. What's wrong with sleeping with lots of beautiful women? And what's wrong with drinking and just being a little wild and expressing my feelings? What's wrong with that? In fact, Stella's saying when we got married, he took the heel of my slipper and smashed all the light bulbs, and he goes with his feelings. He's not an intellectual. He's not a head person. He's a feeling person. He's a body person. Oh yeah, but whatever it is, even if it's a two-line play, you have to work on it. The elevator door opens on the 42nd floor of the J.C. Penney building, and you're standing by the coffee wagon, and a beautiful woman steps out of the elevator, and you say, "Good morning." And she says, "Good morning." Cut. End of scene. You have to, as Stanislavski said, there are no small parts, there are only small actors. So you would have to build a whole situation about, I'm by the coffee wagon, it must be the morning, and this beautiful woman steps out of the elevator, and she's new in the office, and I'd like to meet her. So I know what's behind my good morning. She thinks I'm really, one of those guys in the office that kind of, and so her good morning is keeping arms to stay away. So his good morning, and hers is good morning. So there's that right there. In 2 lines, you have already a sense of relationship and a sense of a situation. So even if you're only given a couple of lines, you have to dig, and there's a certain latitude that you have depending on the script. And there are some not, well, even Marlon said there's some scripts, there's no win situation with, they're so bad that you really, but you try your best. As an artist, you're as committed to do the best that you can and take a so-so script and make it look better than it actually is. And the same thing with working with an actor that's not too good. If your technique is good, you try to make them look better than they actually are. Because you want the play to work, no matter what. You don't want to grandstand and shine and be the only one. You really want to work. And that vibe, if you really care about your fellow actors, that vibe is going to be in there.